So, residential status is discussed in Section 6 of the Income Tax Act 1961. So, to know whether a person is liable to pay tax or not, to know whether a person is liable to pay tax or not, for that, three things you should determine. So, three things should be determined on the basis of which we can calculate the taxable income of that person. First is the you should know the nature of the income, whether it is a capital receipt or it is a revenue income. Okay. Then second, you should know the place of the accrual or receipt of that income, whether that income is received in India or it is earned in India or it is earned or received outside India. So this thing you should check. And third important thing which you should check is the SSE's residential status. By knowing all these three things, we can easily calculate the taxable income of a person. Okay, what all three things we should know before calculating the income of a person, taxable income of a person? First is the nature of the income, then where that income is earned in India or outside India. Then third, you should calculate, know the residential status of that person. By knowing all these three parameters, we can determine the taxable income of the person. Now, most important thing is that taxability of an income is not based on the citizenship. Okay, don't misunderstand this residential status with the citizenship. Okay, even if you are a citizen of India, if you are not resident, then different rules will apply. Okay, if you, even if you are not a citizen of India, but you become resident, then different rules will apply for calculating the income. Okay. So that all we will be discussing in the topic scope of total income. Okay. So incidence of a tax of a person depends on the residential status. Very important. So always understand whether a person is liable to pay tax on a particular income or that particular income tax is not payable by that person. It should be determined depending on the residential status of that person. Okay, so for determining the taxability of a receipt, we should first determine the residential status of that person properly. And remember that residential status and citizenship are two different things. Residential status is not same as the citizenship. Okay, so for determining the taxability of a receipt, whether that receipt is taxable or not in India, three things you should check: whether that income is a capital income or a revenue income, whether that income is earned in India or outside India, and lastly, an important thing is the determination of the residential status, which we'll be understanding now. How to determine the residential status of a person. So, as far as individual is concerned, individual's residential status is broadly divided into two categories. Individual can be resident in India or individual can be non-resident in India. So income tax has categorized the residential status into two categories. In case of an individual, he can either be a resident in India, he can either be a resident in India during the previous year, or he can be a non-resident in India during the previous year. Okay, so these are the two broad classification: resident in India and non-resident in India. Now, very important, residential status has to be determined for every previous year. Residential status has to be determined for every previous year separately. Okay, if you are a resident during this previous year, or assessment year, next previous year you may not be resident in India. Okay, so you it cannot be said that once it is said that a person is a resident in India, he will be continuously resident in India for every year. No, every year you should determine the residential status for that particular year to check whether individual is a resident or not resident in India. So this is not a permanent feature. Every year you should check. So it cannot be said that once an individual becomes resident in India, he will be permanently resident in India. Residential status will keep on changing from year to year. So residential status will keep on changing. So every year you should check the residential status before calculating the tax of that person. It will keep on changing. It will keep on changing every previous year. You will have to determine the residential status of a person every year before determining the taxable income of that person. So as far as individual is concerned, residential status is classified into two types: resident in India and non-resident in India. And again, resident in India is further sub-classified into two categories: resident and ordinarily resident, which can be called as ROR, resident ordinary resident, and resident but not ordinarily resident, which is known as RNOR. Okay, so two broad categories: resident in India and non-resident in India. And if individual is becoming resident in India by applying the rules, then we will have to check whether he is ordinarily resident in India or not ordinarily resident in India. Okay, this is the additional condition which we will have to check if individual becomes resident in India during the previous year. Okay, so two main classification is: individual can either be a resident in India during the previous year, or he can be non-resident in India during the previous year. Okay, if individual becomes resident in India during the previous year, then we will have to further check whether he is ordinarily resident or not ordinarily resident in India. Now, how to check this whether individual is resident in India, not resident in India, ordinarily resident or not ordinarily resident? For that, we will have to go to the next slides. See, here steps are given how to determine the residential status of an individual. First step is that you should check whether the individual is a resident or not resident. Will be the first check. So first step is what? You should check whether the individual is resident or non-resident in India, not resident in India. Then step 2, you have to check whether he is ordinary resident or not ordinary resident. Only if in step 1 he is resident. Okay, first you will apply this step 1. In step 1, if you are getting the answer as resident, then only you will go to the step 2. If your answer is non-resident in step 1, then no, don't go for the step 2. Okay, so it is a two-step calculation. First step is that first you have to check whether individual is resident or non-resident, not resident. Okay, if in step 1 you get the answer that individual is a resident in India, then we will go for the step 2 to further check whether he is ordinarily or not ordinarily. Okay, if in step 1 you get the answer as non-resident, then don't go for step 2. Our answer will stop in step 1 only. Okay, so it is a two-step method for determining the residential status. First, we should check the basic condition, whether he is a resident or non-resident. If he is becoming resident as per step 1, then we will go for ordinarily and not ordinarily. Okay, if in step 1 only we are getting the answer as non-resident, we will stop here only in step 1 only. Okay, so see, again see how to determine the residence status of an individual. Two steps we have to apply. First is we have to check whether the individual is a resident or non-resident. Okay, this is known as basic condition. This is known as basic condition. By applying this basic condition, if we get the answer resident or non-resident, okay, if by applying this basic condition, that is step 1, if we get our answer as a resident, then we will have to go for the step 2, which is known as additional condition. Which is known as what? Additional condition. Which is known as additional condition. Okay, if by applying the basic condition we get the answer non-resident, then stop the answer here only. No need for going to step 2. Okay. Now, what is basic condition? What are the rules for the basic condition? That we will see in the next slide. What is the basic condition? See, basic condition means your step 1. So first we will have to apply the basic condition. How we will say whether an individual is a resident in India or non-resident in India. For that, rule given is individual is a resident in India if he satisfy any one of the condition. Two conditions are given. See, if he satisfying any one of the condition, okay, then he will become resident in India during the previous year. Okay, suppose now you want to check whether an ABC individual is there. He is a resident in India during 1920 previous year. You are interested in finding whether that ABC is a resident or not, a resident in India or not as per Income Tax Act. How you will check whether that person, individual ABC is a resident in India or not? For that, we will have to check the basic condition. So two basic conditions are there. See, condition 1 or condition 2. If out of these two conditions, any one condition is also getting satisfied, then we will say that individual is a resident in India during the previous year. Now see, let us see the first condition. First condition says that he has been in India during previous year for 182 days or more. Very simple condition. This condition says that you have to just check whether that individual has stayed in India for more than 182 days or 182 days. If it is yes, then we will say that he has become resident in India. Okay, just you see that whether that individual of whose residential status you are checking, just to see that whether he has stayed in India for at least 182 days in the previous year. So in 1920, if ABC has stayed in India for 182 days, then we will say that ABC is a resident in India. This is the first basic condition. This is a simple basic condition, in fact, you can say. If ABC has stayed in India for 182 days at least minimum during the previous year, then he will become resident in India for that previous year and obviously for the assessment year also. This is the first basic condition which says that individual is a resident in India if he has stayed in India for at least 182 days during the previous year. Okay, this is a simple basic condition. Basic conditions are given in the Income Tax Act. If any one of the condition is also getting satisfied, no, that individual will become resident. So first condition we have checked. First condition is that you should check whether the individual is staying in India for 182 days during the previous year. If yes, then automatically that individual will become the resident in India. Now, here one more condition is given, which is or, means either one or two you should check. Second basic condition says that individual has not stayed in India for 182 days, but he has stayed in India for 60 days or more. Then you should check one more condition. You should go back for 4 years and check whether he has stayed for 365 days or more. If this condition is also getting satisfied, then also we can say that individual has become a resident in India. So condition number two is having two condition in it. See, condition number two is having two conditions. Condition one was simple. Just you have to see whether a person has stayed in India for 182 days or not. Yes or no. Okay. If yes, then resident. No, then not resident. But if individual has stayed in India for 60 days or more during the previous year, then one more thing you will have to check. You will have to go back for 4 years and see whether his total stays 365 days or more. If both these conditions are satisfying, then also individual will become resident. And for understanding this illustration, this condition, we will have to take practical illustration only. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to understand. So fastly, see, take this illustration. Mr. ABC comes to India for first time on, let us say, take 1st July 2019 and stayed in India and stayed in India and stayed in India till 31st January 2020. Okay, determine his residential status for the previous year 1920 and assessment year 2021. So this is the simple question we have taken for the discussion. See what what is given in the question? Mr. ABC is there. He is coming to India for the first time on 1st July. He is coming to India on 1st July. He is coming to India, and he is going back on 31st January 2020. Okay, what is required? We have to determine the residential status of Mr. ABC. Okay, how we will determine? See, now date of arrival. Date when he is coming to India. Date of arrival 31st July 2019. Date of arrival is 31st July 2019, and date of departure is 31st January 2020. So now we have to just calculate how many days he was in India from 1st July 2019 to 31st January 2020. For how many days he was in India, that we will have to calculate. Just anybody calculate how many days he was in India. How we can calculate? See, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. How many days he was in India? Departure means going back. Departure means going back. See, he is coming on July. July has how many days? 31 days. August is having how many days? 31 days. September is having 30. October 31. November is 30. December is having 31 days. January is having 31. Do the total of all this day. How many days is you are getting? Please check how many days you are getting. 31 plus 31 plus 30 plus 31 plus 30 plus 31 plus 31. How many days total in India? 31 July, August, September, October, November, December, and January. 215 days, no? So 215 days. So Mr. ABC came on July 1st, 2019 and went back on 31st January 2020. He stayed in India for 215 days during the previous year 1920. So obviously our first basic condition is satisfying, no? Minimum 182 days. Here he is staying in India for 215 days. So we can say that Mr. ABC is a resident in India as per the basic condition. Resident in India. Mr. ABC is a resident in India. Why? Because he is staying in India for 215 days. Minimum should only be 182 days. If it is crossing, then we can say that individual is a resident in India.